Our God is Marching On by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., March 25th, 1965, Montgomery, Alabama. Today, I want to tell the city of Selma. Today, I want to say to the state of Alabama. Today, I want to say to the people of America and the nations of the world that we're not about to turn around. We are on the move now. Yes, we are on the move, and no wave of racism can stop us. We are on the move now. The burning of our churches will not deter us. The bombing of our homes will not dissuade us. We are on the move now. The beating and killing of our clergymen and young people will not divert us. We are on the move now. The wanton release of their known murderers would not discourage us. We are on the move now. Like an idea whose time has come, not even the marching of mighty armies can halt us. We are moving to the land of freedom. Let us march on ballot boxes. March on ballot boxes until race baiters disappear from the political arena. The only normalcy that we will settle for is a normalcy that recognizes the dignity and worth of all of God's children. The only normalcy that we will settle for is a normalcy that allows judgment to run down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. The only normalcy that we will settle for is the normalcy of brotherhood, the normalcy of true peace, the normalcy of justice.
The Other America by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Now, there are several things that I could talk about before such a large, concerned, and enlightened audience. There are so many problems facing our nation and our world, but I'd like to use a subject from which I speak this afternoon, the other America. And I use this subject because there are literally two Americas. One America is beautiful for the situation, and in a sense, this America is overflowing with the milk of prosperity and the honey of opportunity. This America is a habitat of millions of people who have food and material necessities for their bodies, culture and education for their minds, and freedom and human dignity for their spirits. In this America, millions of people experience every day the opportunity of having life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness in all of their dimensions. And in this America, millions of young people grow up in the sunlight of opportunity. But tragically and unfortunately, there is another America. This other America is a daily ugliness about it that consistently transforms the ebulliency of hope into the fatigue of despair. In this America, millions of work-starved men walk the streets daily in search of jobs that do not exist. In this America, millions of people find themselves living in rat-infested, vermin-filled slums. In this America, people are poor by the millions, and they find themselves perishing on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. In a sense, the greatest tragedy of this other America is what it does to little children. Little children in South America are forced to grow up with clouds of inferiority forming every day in their little mental skies. As we look at this other America, we see it as an arena of blasted hopes and shattered dreams. Many people of vast backgrounds live in this other America. Some are Mexican Americans, some are Puerto Ricans, some are Indians, some happen to be from other groups. Millions of them are Appalachian whites. But probably the largest group in this other America, in proportion of its size in the population, is the American Negro. So I can still sing, we shall overcome, because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. We shall overcome because Carlyle is right. No lie can live forever. With this faith, we will be able to hew out the mountain of despair in a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangly discourse of our nation to a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to speed up the day when all of God's children, Black men, white men, Jews, Gentiles, Protestants, and Catholics will be able to join hands and live together as brothers and sisters all over this great nation. And this will be a great day. This will be a great tomorrow. In the words of the scripture, speak symbolically that will be the day when the morning stars will sing together and the sons of God will shout for joy.
I've Been to the Mountaintop by Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. April 3rd, 1968. Mason Temple, Memphis, Tennessee. Something is happening in Memphis. Something is happening in our world. And you know, if I were standing at the beginning of time, with the possibility of taking a kind of general and panoramic view of the whole of human history up to now, and the Almighty said to me, "Martin Luther King, which age would you like to live in?" I would take my mental flight by Egypt, and I would watch God's children in their magnificent trek from the dark dungeons of Egypt through, or rather across the Red Sea, through the wilderness, on toward the promised land. Strangely enough, I would turn to the Almighty and say, if you allow me to live just a few years in the second half of the 20th century, I will be happy. Something is happening in our world. The masses of people are rising up, and wherever they are assembled today, whether they are in Johannesburg, South Africa, Nairobi, Kenya, Accra, Ghana, New York City, Atlanta, Georgia, Jackson, Mississippi, or Memphis, Tennessee, the cry is always the same. We want to be free. And another reason that I'm happy to live in this period is that we have been forced to a point where we are going to have to grapple with the problems that men have been trying to grapple with through history, but the demands didn't force them to do it. Survival demands that we grapple with them. Men, for years now, have been talking about war and peace, but now, no longer can they just talk about it. It is no longer a choice between violence and non-violence in this world. It's non-violence or non-existence. That is where we are today. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place, but I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we, as a people, will get to the promised land. And so I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.